Okay, so any other questions before we move forward? I want to make sure this is all making sense to you, right? Because if you don't, if whatever I'm going through, if that doesn't make sense, then what I go ahead will all be tough. Any questions related to your specific fields and how it is applied?
Yeah, hi Mala. Good morning. I just want to know, I'm into automation testing, so how would this impact the field of automation testing?
Automation testing. Anybody has any answer for that? I'm thinking. What I am thinking is you can tell a machine to test, right? You don't need
Yeah.
human to test. So automation is already you're automating, but then beyond that, you can always write an algorithm, and even they are also coming up with the AI to even do the continuous, what is that,
Integration.
CI/CD?
Yeah, continuous integration.
Yes, they are coming up with that because a machine can do it faster and more accurate. You can write an algorithm because it's all it does is dropping, testing and dropping the code, right? So I
Yes.
know that, say, at some point Salesforce was doing that. They were very big in bringing this, but I don't know if they're still pursuing that. But it is not going to be hard to ask a machine to test, because at the end of the day, it's just, again, as I said, if you give the data, you give the data and give the output, it will come up with the rules.
Do you have some idea about the energy sector? How how it is used from an energy trading perspective, how it can be applied?
Energy, there's so many. Energy is a vast field, right? Specifically, what are you saying? I can talk about.
No, energy trading is one single entity, irrespective of what kind of thing.
Energy trading. What is that? It's new.
So energy trading is the prices vary minute by minute every day, just like the stock market. And utilities fix the price and buy it based on supply and demand.
It's like gas?
Yeah, it is gas, but gas is not done minute by minute. It's done on a daily basis.
Okay.
Whereas this is done like a few minutes every time. It just refreshes every few minutes, kind of. So it's like stock trading where it just keeps changing. It keeps running. The clock is running and it goes up and down. But energy has this more complexity, which is not very similar to the stock trading in Wall Street. So I'm trying to understand how that works. And
so what does this price fluctuate based on what? Because that's
supply and demand. I'll give you an example. So in 2021 in Texas, they had this freeze out. And normally, if it is, the cost is $3 to $5 dollars per kilowatt hour cost from the one who's generating the power to the one who's buying the power, which is a utility or a transmission company, then that went up to $20,000 during the peak time because nobody could produce power. So whoever had it stored in battery and they're able to connect to the grid, they were paid that. They made millions in a week.
Oh, this is a classic example.
But normally it fluctuates between say 10% on a regular day basis, and peak times it fluctuates 100%.
Yeah, so the dependency is on the weather.
Weather is one thing, politics is another. Suddenly they bring up something, so they shut down something. Texas has been like really chaotic.
So it's absolutely a classic candidate for ML, right? Because it's prediction. You feed the data, you feed the data about the weather or whatever the data that is responsible to make those decisions. You feed the data. It's a classic example for ML. It's going to go and predict. Recently, I heard they're even so all the weather channels are getting into ML to predict weather channels, right? All that stuff. So it's a classic example. Any predictions it can do
So
because it's
what
all
they
data.
have, the complexity here is when to feed into the grid and when to hold back the power for a better rate. So that's basically what the power generators are looking for in the AI. And that's
Mhm.
what they have not perfected it as yet. It's very haphazard right now.
Yeah, but they'll get there.
Yeah,
They'll
yeah.
get there.
So I'm
Yeah.
just trying to understand which way to go, what to look at to understand that a little bit more.
It's a classic example. Wherever predictions are involved, machine learning can do that very well because all it needs is data. So if the reason, so it's also you have to understand it's garbage in, garbage out, right? If the
Yeah.
data is not clean, you're going to get a bad prediction. So the more and more they collect the data, the more and more you're able to feed the accurate data and vast amount of data, the more accurate, the better results you get.
Yeah, the complexity is the variables keep varying and new variables keep coming in all the time. So it's very difficult to have an algorithm to predict because it's every month it's like something new is coming up. It may be with respect to weather,
So
it may be with
the
respect to
data
something.
scientists will work on coming up with a algorithm for those varying variables. That'll be their job. I'm thinking they're already in the process. It takes time. It takes time and money. That's why it's an expensive project. But once it's done, the benefit that you get out of it is humongous. So they're going to put all that energy and amount of time to get that done. So maybe somebody has not come up with a model or an algorithm yet to figure out if the variable is also varying because they know variables. How many variables are there? What are the variables? That kind of stability they need, at least this point they need. But if there is a varying variable and new variable is coming, basically what they need to do is they need to predict that when is the variable varying, new variable coming, and then feed that into it. And what it will end up is they may need to train the model frequently.
Mm.
That's the another thing, right? That's the model management.
Okay.
My son actually did a major in from UC San Diego, data science. He just graduated like last week, and he was given a project to predict the price of homes, right? He did that. He did this project in 2022, I think, 2021 or when he was in his second year. So that real estate agent gave him all the data points of the homes in San Jose, what prices they were sold, and then he told them to predict in 2021, right? Yeah, predict whether the home prices will go up or down in the next year. And he predicted it will be going up. 2022, it went up, and then it's 2023. It's still staying up. It's not fallen, but he was able to predict that it is still going to go up for 2022. I'm just giving you an example. So it was for him. It was just a baby project, but it's just all about your data. The data is clean. Your output is clean. So that's where the data scientists, that's where the people who are working as in the data space. I know somebody who's working on the data space. There's a lot of opportunity for you to don't have to be data scientists, but you can be a person who is making the data available, cleaning the data, prepping the data. There is so much to do before it goes into the data science's hand. The data science will only put algorithms and figure out the predictions, right? But before that, you need to prep the data. And there we need a lot of data engineers. That's why data engineers are different from data scientists. Okay, so this is how the artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and data science fit into this ecosystem, right? This is the ecosystem. So artificial intelligence by itself cannot exist without any of these things. So artificial intelligence is made out of machine learning or deep learning, and that is aided by data science. Okay. Have you met this person? She's a robo. She has a citizenship she is a citizen of Dubai. What's her name? I forgot. Susie? Anybody remembers her name?
Sophia, I guess.
Sophie, what's her name?
Sophia, I guess.
Sophia, correct. You're right. Robert Sophia. Have you seen her? Have you guys met with her?
Nope.
Oh, wow. She's been around for last few years. She's going around the world. She was in IIT. She gave us a speech at IIT, one of the cities in India. She has been given the citizenship by Dubai. I think she has citizenship of Dubai, and she travels all over the world. Google her or YouTube her. She has a lot of lectures giving. Sophia the robot takes Elon Musk, climate change, and more free think. So she's pretty famous. I'm surprised she's around for the last 4-5 years. And the reason why they are sending her all around the world and trying to get her know the world is she's learning as well, right? She's also learning and she's passing on the data. So they're also testing on her how fast she's able to learn. It looks like she can learn a lot of language. She can speak a lot of languages. By the tour, she's learned a lot of languages. So there are a lot of interesting YouTube. She also sings. It's very interesting how she sings. She just immediately downloads from the internet and starts singing. All right. So why AI? Let's understand the details. Now we know that okay, AI is there. What are the reasons there are? Here are some of them that I put. Why do you think AI is needed now? Why the world was nice? We were all happy without AI. It's actually disrupting our world. Why we need AI? Any thoughts?
I would say like similarly how we needed automation testing when manual testing was there. Automation testing came and that time there was same fear that obviously that automation will take away jobs. It did, but at the same time, earlier the job which was required to be done by 10 manual testers, now it is done by 2 automation testers. But that freed up time for those 8 people to do a lot of other things and overall increase the productivity. Similarly, and this is again my thought, AI will also do the same thing, kind of free up people to do other things and venture into other areas.
And the other thing is, someone said that something that human cannot do, that is captured by the AI beyond the human knowledge or capacity.
That's true. That's true. I think you all have the answers. So basically, if I have to put a thought to this, I would say it's basically a natural transformation, right? So human being continuously grows. That's the nature of human, right? One day we didn't have fire. From fire we came from rock age to whatever age. So at those days, fire was something that was an innovation, and people thought, oh my God, fire is going to kill and it's going to destroy everybody. But fire is also used because of that we are here where we are, right? So the nature of human is going to constantly innovate and constantly grow, which cannot be stopped. If that stops, then the world will stop. So this is inevitable. There is a bigger message beyond this, right? It's not about just AI. AI is hot today, maybe next 10 years something else comes up. But the nature of human is to constantly grow. And it has come to a point now. I mean, those are some days, like from fire age to whatever age, it took multiple years, right? But now 90s to 2000s is like in 10 years things change. Now it's going to be so fast that it's going to be within a year you will see changes. So that's how fast you need to keep up yourself. Especially I feel, at least we are in our mid careers, which we have few more years to go, and somehow we will get there. But it's a very tough world for the next generation. And somebody told me that they're also made like that. They're made to survive in this world, right? They are multitasking like anything. more than a machine. They are as good as a machine. They can do playing games here, and so many windows are open. They're multitasking. They're on the phone. They're on so many apps. So probably, so maybe I hope they are made to do that and they have a good life. But as a human, you can't constantly change, constantly grow. Otherwise, it's no there is there otherwise I would say there is no existence. So why AI? My answer is it's not, you can't stop it. It's inevitable. It will happen. So, but bigger question is why AI now? Do you have any answer for that?
Hey, I'm Sam Bhaskar here. Yeah, I think the reason is probably because we have enough machine power to do these things, which was not there before, and also enough data. I think the data is just overwhelming. So these are the two reasons why I think it's there. And also the third reason is the necessity. Because we have these two, then now we are trying to see what is that we can use this and make use of it.
Yeah, you're spot on. The three reasons that I found was, one was data. This is how much, that's why it's feasible. It's feasible to do. Every day we create whatever number that is, quintillion bytes of data every day. 10 million Blu-ray discs, right? That's how much data is available right now. Now, what do we do with that data? That's because machine learning is purely dependent on data. That's somewhere I read in that conference, somebody said data is the new oil. Have you heard of this?
Yes.
Data is the new oil. You have data, you're rich. So we have so much data and we need to make something out of it, right? So now data becomes the currency. One is data. This is what you told. Computing power, hardware, which is available now. And this is the third reason, improved algorithms. These algorithms, everything has to progress, right? So if you look at it, to my original answer of why, because we have continuously grow, and we are doing AI now because we have grown in all these areas, and in terms of data, in terms of CPU power, and in terms of algorithms. We didn't have these powerful algorithms at that time. All these mathematicians have now come up with all these algorithms. So all three are there together for us to do AI now. That's why it's AI now. Any questions, any thoughts? All right.
Just thought,
Go.
in the biomedical research space, this has reduced the research time required to arrive at a result in biomedical research. But I am not understanding, I'm not very sure about how it can create a redundancy in that space. My son is a scientist, he's working in biomedical research. And as of now, it has not replaced, but it has aided them in analytical modeling to see what the options are and which way to go for their research. But that could change. I'm trying to understand how that.
Yeah, replacement will happen because we are still at the beginning. As the machines get more and more intelligent and more sophisticated, it can do a lot more work as a human. It'll be another human. AI is nothing but we're just creating another human, right? So it is very clear that we will need less people to do the same job that is being doing. 10 people are doing, we'll need 3 people. That's how it will replace. But it will not like 100% replace. It reduce the number of people that's needed to do, because you still need somebody to manage them. Because I think somebody was saying that we should start
I think
learning.
I would like to add, in drug discovery, I feel the timeline for drug discovery today between 12 to 15 years will probably shorten, because we already have so much research that it can be interlinked, and data is available, and we'll probably need to do fewer human trials to dispense targeted medicine for in the future.
You were breaking off, but I think I overall understood where you said it will allow us to do research in a lesser time, right?
Drug
That's right.
discovery, yes.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, you're spot on, absolutely. So that's where it will make us do things faster. So why there is a need, as you know, we all have limitations, right? As I said, the computation power of the robot or the AI is much more than a human. They can do jobs, work a lot more faster, accurate. So when I say there is going to be error, there is going to be error when you're building the models, there will be error. But once you say that, okay, I want only this part to be done, that whatever part it does, it will do error free, right? You look at your, if you have an iRobot at home, once it's trained to go around and map the house, it never makes an error. It may make an error in mapping, but once it's mapped, it will not make an error, right? So it's like it's intelligent, but it's also mundane, right? Once it learns, it will not unlearn. Like human, we know data today, but tomorrow somebody else tells, we will manipulate it. That it will not do. Machine won't do it. That's why there is no error there, right? So human limitation is there, absolutely. We don't have that computational power, so that's where we need AI. Predictions and preventions. Like there is one concern. There is this company called One Concern. It was a startup 5-6 years ago. I met with the CEO. It's really interesting product that he's doing. He's a Stanford student who made this company in Stanford Research. You can look at it. He's from Pakistan, and he said that he was stuck in a flood and in the third floor. And he said that the rescuers were coming and trying to rescue, but they didn't know where to go to rescue, right? There are people sitting in the third floor, they are trying, waving, but they can't see, the helicopters are so high. They didn't know where to go to rescue, even though the resources are there. That triggered something into his mind, and he started this startup, which is purely on AI or machine learning predictions, where his product is, if a calamity happens, let's say earthquake happened here, where should the rescuer go first? So they come and they take the space. It depends on the spatial algorithms, and they figure out first if there is a school, if there is a hospital, if there is residential, is it an industrial? They figure out that, and then they indicate or send information to the rescuers where to go first. So if there is a school, that's the first place they have to go. If there is a hospital, that's the first place they have to rescue. And this is not, I don't know. And look at the amount of time I don't know even if his product is out yet. He started in 2018 or something. I have to still follow up and see where things are. But this very expensive product, who will buy this product? Only government will buy. Nobody else can buy this product. Only they need where to send the firefighter, where to send the helicopter, where to send this rescuer, right? Only government will buy. And recently I saw he's doing something, he got some funding, but I thought this project, to develop this project itself, will take about 10 years. He needs funding, and then he will be profitable after that. But something they are doing, but I think they are having a collaboration with the government and all. That's why he's able to get money. But so purely AI-based product, which was started 5 years ago, and this is how the CEOs are thinking nowadays, right? It's a problem that we don't even know it's a problem. I was very impressed when I heard a story. Human limitations. Sorry,
Mala, what's the name of the startup you said?
One Concern.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, predictions and preventions. as I gave that examples, and enrich human lives, right? At the end of the day, I don't want to be sweeping my house. If the Roomba can sweep, I can enjoy watching TV or maybe teach a class, enrich human life. So these are the reasons why we need, because when you think in terms, I know we are we work in terms of software, we are engrossed in our project, but think the AI project, when you're thinking, think in terms of value. How is it? How is it adding value to outer world, right? That's very important. And when you understand that, you can contribute a lot to the project itself. So this all these thinking comes from product management, but I feel everybody has to have that thought. So in the product management class, I go into the depth of how do you think of value. AI deep dive. Okay. What are the different types of AIs that you all know, right? The simple ones we know is Alexa. It's not Alexa, it's Alexa, Siri. Complex AI is Roomba that can think like a human, right? These are different examples of AI. Any other examples or thoughts that you want to share? I mean, I just wanted to give a trigger out here and ask the class. This was the slide that I wanted you to speak up. What are the places you think it's already there or you think it can replace?
Hazardous situations, both in bio and physical world.
Lot of industries and factories, right, where human are using their, somebody has to go on mute, I think. Human lives are endangered, right? The people get their hands cut, their legs cut, the heavy bodies fall on them. So many industries are that all that needs to be replaced. I don't think human needs to waste their time doing all those things and put themselves in such dangerous positions. Anything, I mean, those are all very far. Agriculture, how many of you think agriculture AI can be used?
Oh yeah. In
Right?
fact, planting
high
and
time, yeah.
harvesting is and timing it and
Yeah. I
optimizing.
mean, there is no, I think I have a slide on that. There is no industry that is left out that where AI can be used. I'll share that slide. But let's go into the different types of machine learning. I will pause here today and then we'll continue in the next class. How many of you heard about these types of, this is a basic 3 types of machine learning: supervised, unsupervised, reinforced learning. I want to, I know we are at 9:30. I want to spend 5 minutes discussing, keeping it as an open forum on these machine learning types.
No.
Anybody?
I'm not familiar.
I have Mala. This is Sunny again.
Yeah, go ahead.
So on the supervised learning, I'm seeing that being applied in the medical surgeries in a big way. And there are companies in the Bay Area like Intuitive Surgical that started this whole, surgical robots, right? Which are the examples of machine learning being applied under a supervisory, type. Which helps doctors in performing very high precision surgeries, while the doctor is operating on the operating table. So this is an example I'm seeing in the field.
Oh, that's not supervised learning. That is
Okay.
supervised. The machine is not learning at that time. Machine is conducting, right?
Correct.
Machine
So
is
it started,
conducting.
correct. You are right. So it started as a supervised learning, and the machines have become so powerful and smart over the years with the data and the learning that happened all along the way that they are,
Now
like you
supervising.
rightfully said, yeah. So they moved to the next level where they are actually doing the analysis themselves
Yeah.
and guiding.
True.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, you're saying that they the machines the machines were supervised by a doctor to teach so that they learned, and now they have learned.
Correct.
Okay, okay, got it. Any other thoughts on these terminologies? I want, there are 28 people in the class. There are only 3 people who are vocal. I want the whole class to open. If it's possible, can you all open up your video last 5 minutes so you can talk? Because the class is going to get powerful only when you talk.
What's the difference between supervised learning and reinforced learning?
I'll get to that in the next class, the details. So I'll give you an insight. I'll just give you a high level of that. So supervised learning means you tell the machine, this is flower, this is flower, this is a sunflower. Sunflower looks like this. So you give feed the machine with hundreds of sunflower pictures, that it is yellow, its petals are like that, it has a brown thing in the middle, it has a green stem, this is how the shape is. You feed the machine with hundreds of images, and over a period of time, after some time, it will detect. If you just give 100 flowers, a rose and a lily and some other flowers and a sunflower, it will detect exactly what is sunflower. That is supervised learning, where you are giving data to the where you are supervising, telling that this is how sunflower looks. Unsupervised learning is you just feed data, you don't tell anything, it will cluster, right? So it will, let's say you fed data, you said 10 blocks of 10 blue blocks, 10 red blocks, 10 green blocks. You just fed data, you don't tell anything, you don't say 10 red or blue or green. The machine will cluster them. It'll put all the blues in one spot, all the greens in one spot, all the reds in one spot. Now it knows these are 3 different clusters. Now when you feed data and say, now tell me which is red, green and blue, it based on the clusters, it will automatically segregate them. So that's unsupervised learning. You are not telling, machine automatically figures it out. Reinforcement learning is like training a dog. You tell the machine to do something and you reward or punish. You see how you reward the dog, you give them a treat, then they know this is the right thing to do. Or you punish, say, then they know that this is not the right thing to do. That's called reinforcement learning. That's how these 3 learnings are. That's exactly how the machines are taught. So they will, the reinforcement learning is you tell the machine something, like the robot does something, it will come walking to you and you tell the machine to pick up. That's exactly what you were talking about when the doctors were using those robots, right? It does the right thing, they'll reward it. So when they reward, the machine remembers this is the right thing to do. When it is doing something wrong, they will punish. And exactly not punish, they will not reward. So the machine knows that this is not the right, they'll undo it. That's what reinforcement learning is. So this is reinforcement learning happens a lot when it is robots. But when I'm talking about that example that I said, how do I predict whether this customer is going to purchase in this visit or no? How? That's all based on data, because I fed lot of data of my previous customers who did those clickings, right? Click through data I fed, and now the machine has learned what patterns, with what type of click patterns the customer is purchasing, or what type of click patterns customer is not purchasing. That's millions of data fed to the machine. It learned the pattern and now it is predicting. That's a supervised learning.
Great, thank you.
So, all right, we are up to the time. It's almost 6 minutes more beyond the time. Any thoughts, last minute questions before we wind up, before the next class? Just one thing I want to say before we wind up is July, next class is fine, but July 11th to 18th, I'm traveling. It just came up after I put my classes on all together. So that weekend, we may not have class. I will have to skip it to the next class, just letting you know right now.
Hey, Mala, I have a question.
Mhm.
Chetna, the buyer behavior or the customer behavior, it's kind of saturated, or each company, depending on like Amazon, other e-commerce sites might have developed their own models or supervised learning as such, right? So when it goes to a saturation, as a professional, I mean, as a data scientist or as a product manager, I won't be having much creativity to bring in, right? So certain areas will get into a saturation point. So if AI is going to learn everything, what is that we as a human, what profession is?
That is a $1 million question, right? That's why they are testing, giving free money.
I know, I got that, but then human, like human tendency is not to be quiet or not doing anything.
Yeah, we will go to Mars, and then from there we'll try to go to Pluto or Jupiter. That's what we will do. What else we'll do?
Yeah, but if he lives that long, I know. But my question was more about till I work, right, as a profession. I have 10 plus years of experience, and the 5 to 10 years I want to work. So as I'm on a break, I'm trying to figure out.
10 years, it will not get exhausted. 10 years, 10 years, you still have a lot of time to get into developing these AIs and managing these AI projects and all that stuff.
Yeah, but I was more like I'm from a payment background, right? So I know more of a customer related things, B2C, such stuff. So it's already like companies have invested heavily on understanding buyers or customer behavior. So is there anything really to, any creative thing to do in that space?
Yeah, and do you think companies have heavily invested, but do you think companies are reaching their goals as they want? They're not. There is still a problem, right? There are so many people so many companies have not reached what the goals they have to reach. Always companies will have some goals, and you have to reach that goal, and you have to get creative to get to that goal.
It's more of a like better algorithm or better models.
You'll have to keep on, and remember, customer behavior changes, environment changes. COVID came, models will not work. What models you created at that time will not work with COVID, because the situation, the environment changed. The data has to be now retrained. Right. So there is always something or the other happening. That's the risk of models, because they will only know what they're trained on. If the environment changes, they don't know how to change. Then you have to retrain this model.
Yeah, and however, ChatGPT being in public with the trained data, and people come up with such generic data models, and like I'm just assuming that it has reached to some saturation and it's out in the public. It's my understanding. Correct?
Yeah, I don't. So there will be. So we can only know what is the current, right? I mean, even in the conferences, I heard with a lot of leaders or a lot of CEOs who are talking, they said these conferences should not be filled with us, with the middle professions. We have to bring college students. They say we don't even know. We don't know what the future is going to look like, but it will be different. That's all they're saying, and that's not something we can do. The people who are in the mid professions who are going to retire in next 10 to 15 years, we will not be the ones who will be making those changes. It will be the college students and the high schoolers today who will be making those changes.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So your question is valid. Nobody knows the answer. Only we know it will change. We don't know how it will change. Even those big shots or whoever I was listening to, who are speakers at the conference, saying the same thing. We don't know how it will change. Yeah. Right now we know where it is going. So we have to navigate and go with that. Cool. Any last thoughts or questions before I wind up? And it was a wonderful class. I totally enjoyed teaching you all. And I look forward to seeing you all next class as well. And feel free to write to me. You all have my email address. Any questions or any thoughts you have. And let's all keep in touch. And you should all this is a community for you guys to talk to each other and learn about each other, right? You should all, as well as connect. I'll do one call where we can just do a chat call for us to understand each other.